Hi, and welcome to a budget special episode of ETMarkets exclusive. The Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the full Union Budget 2024, in which a lot of changes were introduced, especially for markets and the taxpayers. So, today we are going to take the market perspective and see how markets reacted, how stocks reacted, and what's going to be there on the charts in future. To discuss more on this, we have Mr. Aamar Deo with us, Senior VP at Angel One. Thank you so much, Mr. Aamar, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, Neha.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. So let's quickly talk about the budget 2024. How was the budget for markets today? What are your thoughts on the budget?
I would say it was a budget where the government clearly tried to kickstart the rural consumption. Apart from that, address the jobs creation challenge. At the same time, somewhat trying to see that the middle class or the taxpayers get some relief from the inflationary, I would say, concerns, and also ensure that the different sectors they continue to witness growth and job creation is there to stay. So somewhere balancing, I would say, economic growth, managing inflation, and at the same time fiscal prudence, because the government is looking at keeping the fiscal deficit under 5%, so 4.9%, but they are looking at 4.5%. So that's where the government, we have to understand that this is a different government than the earlier government, because this is a coalition government, so there are certain compulsions of a coalition government. But despite that, the budget, I would say, tries to address some of the major concerns which, as a country, we are facing currently.
All right. So let's also talk about securities transaction tax or STT. It has been changed. Changes have been proposed for FNO specifically, and this has caused a lot of stress in the markets today. Along with that, STCG and LTCG changes have also been marked. So I want to understand what is the current situation, how it's going to impact the market participants, and what do you want to add to that?
There were some apprehensions or some concerns that this is going to be so, and actually that has what has come out in the budget. Because if you look at short-term capital gains, that has been increased from 15% to 20%. Long-term capital gains, that has been hiked from 10% to 12.5%. And also, if you look at STT, there is a securities transaction tax that on futures has increased to 0.02% from 0.01%, and on options it has increased to 0.1% from 0.06 to 5%. So somewhere or the other, this is for STT. It's more of a step, because we've been hearing a lot from regulators and from I would say market voices that there needs to be some steps taken to, I would say, overheated the derivatives market, which is being talked about. So there's some ways wherein if something can be done about it. So that's the reason we've seen a hike in STT, in the futures and options, and at the same time the STCG and the long-term capital gains, that has also been high, because we need to understand that we are a growing economy. We require a lot of, I would say, money for infrastructure, for I would say, for our lower the pyramid. If you look at the lower half of the pyramid, because almost 80 crore people in India take advantage of the ration that the government provides. So that tells us the story that we are still a significant chunk of our population. They have significant financial constraints. So government would also need to take care of them as well. So we will have these measures which would be announced from time to time. As far as how the markets have taken them, the markets have right now taken them on the chin. We did witness a sharp correction post this announcement, and if you look at the benchmark index Nifty, that traded below 24,100 levels briefly, but somehow managed to close up. So if you look at today, the market closed only 0.14% lower. But now it becomes very important that the recent high which Nifty had made of 24,850 or so, and the recent today's low 24,000. The 24,000, 24,800, 900, or 25,000, you can say roughly. Now that's become a range for Nifty going forward.
Okay.
So that's it in a nutshell.
All right. I want to understand which are the sectors that going forward will be in focus when it comes to the budget perspective.
So FMCG stocks are doing quite well. Also, I would say that going forward, automobile stocks, particularly the two-wheeler segment, that should do well, provided we see a revival in the rural spending. And apart from that, renewable energy, defense is another sector. Pharma is also one sector which could perform well. And apart from that, IT as a sector has witnessed a significant rally. Most of the stocks have moved up, but still there is, as long as we don't see a major correction happening in the US economy or US markets, I would say IT should also be fairly well placed. And amongst the PSU space, defense is one area which one is there, but only on corrections one can look at. Apart from that, you've got the power sector is also there, because we've seen a focus on renewable energy, focus on solar, because almost 1 crore households are being would be provided rooftop solar panels. So that industry, that sector is also expected to do. So there would be various sectors which would be performing well.
And if we talk about jewelry stocks, so jewelry stocks were also up today after custom duty was slashed to 6% for gold and silver and 6.4% for platinum. Do you think this uptrend will remain for longer, or this is a very temporary thing?
I would say we could, if you look at those jewelry stocks, we have now custom duty decrease in gold and silver to 6%, so that has somewhat helped.
All right. So before we close our session, I also want to talk about Andhra stocks. So Andhra stocks also went up after 15,000 crore rupees of support was announced for Amravati by the government. So what is your stance on Andhra stocks?
I would say Andhra and Bihar both are well placed in terms of being part of the coalition partners. So Andhra stocks are definitely having a good time, and they should have a good time provided the execution happens. Well, these are sectors which one can look at, PSU stocks also, or can look at automobile stocks, so banking banking stocks also.
And apart from that, FMCG is definitely one should keep a close watch on.
I think we have reached the end of our segment for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Aamar, for joining us today on ET Market live stream and talking about the markets along with Union Budget 2024.
Thank you for having me on the show.